Good morning, round one. In this corner, weighing in at 147 grams, is the GoPro. The GoPro, which is known by thousands, if not millions, to be the standard in action cameras. Also, the GoPro is one of the more expensive in the line of action cameras out there, and to be the best. Well, maybe, we'll find out. And in this corner, weighing in at 56 kilograms, is the Elephone Explorer Elite. This Chinese action camera is for the budget-minded person. The Explorer Elite is packed with tons of features and specs and could equal to, and if not better than, the GoPro. Well, we'll see. With this review, with these two cameras, are we talking apples to apples? Wait, what? Are we talking apples to oranges? Man, what the f... Sorry about that, I'm losing my mind. Well, with these two cameras, let me just do a quick specs. You know, I'm a meat and potatoes type of guy, so the real easy specs is the one I'm really interested in. If you really want to know the full specs, look in the description below, click on the link, and you can see the description for both cameras. So, for the GoPro, this is the GoPro Hero 4 Silver Edition. It does record in 4K at 15 frames per second, 2.7K at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 60 frames per second. It also does the 720 and below for, you know, slow motion and whatever else you need. Also has a 12 megapixel camera, no image stabilizations, and of this date, which is September 10th, 2016, it's selling for $349 Amazon or Best Buy. The Explorer Elite 4K. Well, hold on. Let me stop here for 1 second and let me do a little rant on this. This 4K is interlaced, and they are saying it's 4K. Now that kind of bothers me because it should just tell you really what the specs are. If it's interlaced, not interlaced, if it really is a 4K. I mean, I know other companies are doing that, but, you know, is it a deal breaker? To me, it's not a deal breaker. It could be to others. But the thing is, when one spec is so incorrect, what about the other specs? Are they just blowing smoke up your ass? I don't know. I digress. Let's go and get into the specs. The Elite 4K at 24 frames per second, 1080p at 60 frames per second, has a 12 megapixel Sony image sensor camera. It does have an image stabilization, built-in gyrometer, and it sells for $79. Alright, well, let's get into the dimensions so you know how close they are to each other. The GoPro is 2 5/16 of an inch. The Elite is 2 1/4. The height, let me pick this up, is 1 9/16 of an inch. Whoops, sorry about that. Let me try that again. 1 9/16 of an inch. And the Elite is also 1 9/16 of an inch. I know it's kind of hard to see. Now, the depth is kind of interesting. The GoPro is 13/16 of an inch, while the Elite is 15/16 of an inch. So it's an 1/8 of an inch deeper, and I'm going to get into that a little more later on. So let me put them on top of each other so you can kind of see how they fare against each other. You could see how close they are, and you can see the height, how close they are. And then the depth, you can see where it really is a big difference. Let me see if I can get that closer in. There you go. All right, and hang on, let me shut this off. Somehow I turned it on. The screen size, let me turn them over. For the GoPro, the screen size is 2 5/16 of an inch. Now, I have an OEM GoPro screensaver on this. All my electronics have a screensaver. And the Elite, also I just put the GoPro on there just because I had 3 of them, is 1 15/16 of an inch. All right. So, all that, let me get into the actual construction of the camera. Now, the GoPro has a very nice metal feel. I don't know, it could be plastic. You know, I don't know all the materials on it, but it's got a good feel. The sides here, let me grab my magnifying glass. Has an 45 degrees, see if you can see that, grip. Oh well. The buttons, they feel very solid. The peripheral right here for the battery, extra battery pack. For the black, you can put the screen, which is very nice. And it's got this front LCD, which I won't really get into because the Elite does not have it, and I'm just trying to compare the two features. Also, the lens itself is protruding 1/4 of an inch for the GoPro, which I forgot to mention, and the Elite is protruding just about 1/8 of an inch. Now, one thing I love about the Elite is this rubber versus the GoPro's plastic smooth finish, because this finish is like a checkerboard design and it feels like tire rubber, and I don't know in the future if it's going to break down and get, you know, sticky, but I really like the feel of this. And you know, where the GoPro, let me pull this out, has all the HDMI stuff, I really like this cover. Originally I didn't really like it, but having it on there and it's real easy to take on and off is really a nice feature, whereas the Elite, it's always exposed I really like that feature. As for the battery doors, this one's got this little mechanism that releases the door, whereas you have to kind of use your fingernail, and it doesn't really fit that great, but it's good enough. It's good enough. And let me set that down here. And then, you know, the side buttons is totally different versus the GoPro, which, you know, only has one button for features. So let me turn on the GoPro first and show you the menu, and you'll see what it looks like. So I'm just going to press the power button for a couple of seconds, where the little light shines on, and there you go. So you can, what I like about this particular one is it's got a touch screen where you push down to unlock it, and that's such a beautiful, beautiful design. Now you can swipe. There's empty, sorry about that. You can swipe from right to left, and you have playbacks, setup, video, single photo burst. You know, in the setup, you know, you have wireless, the touch screen. Maybe you can't really see. Let me get a little closer here. Maybe this will be a little better. Let me start again here. So this is the setup. And, you know, I'm sure other people have shown better screenshots or video of this particular menu. I just want to quickly show the menu. So I really love the touchscreen. I could not live without the LCD screen on the GoPro. So I'm going to exit out of that. And then the side button here has whatever mode you're in. Like, I have video mode right now, so it's video settings. So right now, you know, it's set up for the 1080p frames per second, and so on. So, you know, the menu is very simple. There isn't a lot to the menu. Few settings. There are not a lot of modifications. There are a few, don't get me wrong. But you'll see the difference from the Elite to this one. So I'm going to set that down right now, and I'm going to power up the Elite. Now, it is the same concept where you hold the power button. Excuse me, and I'm going to hold it. It's going to have this nice dare to be whatever. Now, it does not have a touchscreen. And my next rant. When you turn this thing on, it starts recording automatically. I hate that. If somebody knows how to turn that feature off of this guy, because I just hit the button to stop the recording, please write in the description how to turn that off. Let me show you that again. I'm going to turn this off. Okay, I'm going to turn it on, and you can see the red button. It's going to automatically start recording. Look at this. And watch, I'm not touching nothing. And there you go. You see how, I don't know if you could tell, but there's a little red dot right there that shows that you're recording. It does take a few seconds, yes. I don't know, it's very annoying to me, but it's not a deal breaker. Okay, so let me go into the menu, and this menu is a pretty intense menu. So, you know, it's going to be hard for me to show you. I'll get really close here. So you can see there's resolution, loop. I'm just going to go down slowly so you can see. There's a slow motion. Motion detection, and there's the gyro, image size. So there's a lot in this menu to deal with. Now, there's good and bad to that. The good is there's a lot of settings. The bad is if you want to delete something like right here, look how far you have to go to that. So, you know, it's not that big of a deal because I just like let it go and delete in the computer. But they could have made it much simpler. So you could see how many pages that was. So I'm going to set that right there. So the final conclusion on round 1. It's always going to come down to price. There's other features that I'm going to show you. Of course, the video, the battery. But if the GoPro was like $100 cheaper, man, that would be it, you know? But since the Elite is only $79, man, you can't beat it. So right now, me personally, I give the edge to the GoPro. But let me show you a couple of other little things I want to show. Let me set that aside. I want to show you something interesting here. This is an aftermarket skeleton frame, and this is the GoPro's frame. No, let me set that up. Maybe it's better like that. Yeah. So let me take a quick second and talk about the depth, okay? Now this aftermarket frame, if you can tell sideways, you know, there's the dimensions deep-wise. Let me show you. When you put the Elite in it, in fact, yeah, it's okay. It fits perfect. It's a little loose, but it is nice in there. Now, when you put the GoPro, because of the depth, it is very loose. Now, granted, this is an aftermarket frame, skeleton frame. You can see how loose. So this would be no good. I would not use this frame for the GoPro, but it works perfect for the Elite. As far as the GoPro's skeleton housing, the dimensions are so close it would work. Also, GoPro has added this little metal, let me see if you can see it. I'm trying to get lighting better, guys. There we go. See that little metal guy? It can adjust for depths because of the 4K black. So it would fit the Elite, this frame. It's just, all I'm saying is the depth could be an issue on some aftermarket parts. Now let me show you one last thing and I'll be done. Let's quickly talk about the waterproof housing. Now, you could not put the Elite in the GoPro housing, which is, you know, obviously it's obvious, okay? You know, you got the 2 buttons here versus the 1 button. The depth is a little different. You know, the housing itself feels the same, looks very similar. The problem is, if you break this housing, this waterproof case, I should say, it's going to be hard to replace. Yes, you can go to Geek Buying and try to find something similar, but if you don't get the right one with the depth and all that matching to this bad boy, it's going to be a little bit of a problem for you. As far as the GoPro, man, you can go Best Buy, eBay and get the original GoPro housing if you break this, and you're good to go. It's just a very hard, in my opinion. Now, you know, if you break this and you go to like Geek Buying and get a replacement, you're probably good. But I'm just saying that it could be a problem. Like if you go to eBay, you might not match the actual dimensions of the camera. So once again, from what I said right now, round one, let me move this a little bit. The GoPro edges the Elite slightly. Please stay tuned for round two. If you like, hit the like button. If you want to leave a comment for me and I'll read it. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.